Welcome to Dodger Fan Weekly.
I'm Adele.
And I'm Anadel.
And we love the Dodgers.
And
we're about to go into the playoffs, and we're going to play the Mets.
They tell you to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Today we have an expert on the Mets.
Right. He's not just any Mets fan. We've been told he knows a lot about the Mets, so we can find out a lot about the team we're going to see.
It was always such a great rivalry, because of the history, and
right.
The Dodgers, the team that moved, the Mets are the new National League team, the connection there, the Piazza connection. It's always been a great rivalry, and I get juiced when they get together.
We don't use the word juiced in baseball.
I think the Mets match up very well against the Dodgers, but though the Greinke Kershaw do frighten me. I think if the Mets get hold their own and keep the game close, get those guys out of the game, I think they stack up better. They have more depth than the Dodgers, I think.
Who are your 1-2 punch, like our Greinke Kershaw?
Well,
in your opinion?
It's really DeGrom, Harvey, but we have, it's DeGrom, Harvey, Syndergaard. I think they'll probably go with Matz because he's a lefty. Although, because the NLDS is 5 games, maybe the Mets go with the 3-man rotation, and it's Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard with Matz in the bullpen. That's the one thing. The Mets do have a ton of starting pitchers. Now, I don't think Harvey and DeGrom are as good as Kershaw and Greinke. But when you think Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, and then if they use Matz, I don't think they'll use Cologne, but they have more depth in their starting pitching. The first 3.5 months of the season, the Mets, the only reason the Mets even were competitive was their pitching. I mean, they were so good.
Right.
Every game was, the starters were going 7-8 innings, striking out 9, giving up a run, and they would win these games 2-1 or lose 1-0, and that. But they're also very young. Mm-hmm. None of these guys have pitched deep into September, let alone October before. They're all logging more innings than they ever had in their life. And then, I am concerned about them running out of gas.
So pitching is usually what they say is going to win and lose series. But there are other players.
The up-the-middle defense, the second. The Murphy at second, and if it's going to be Flores at short, that's frightening.
In what way?
Well, Flores he's not a shortstop. He's a second baseman. Murphy, I love Murphy, but he's not the best defender in the world. And it's been a liability all season long. It's sort of been balanced out by the offense they bring, but it's still not the strongest part of their game. When you have Wilmer Flores at short, who's just not a shortstop, and Murphy at second, who, again, he's as good of a hitting second baseman as there is in the game, but that up-the-middle defense, could be, it could lead to a crucial error in a series. And the Mets have played some terrible defense, especially earlier in the season. It got better as the season went on, but that's not the strongest part of that game.
You guys got Juan Uribe, and now he might be injured, but he's one of our favorite players when he was a Dodger. And we got Justin Turner.
Yeah.
And could that be? Well, Justin Turner's kind of been injured too. Mm-hmm. So, but that would be kind of fun.
Year, though.
He's had a great season, absolutely.
He never had a year like that with the Mets. I like Justin Turner, and he's a great bench player and a good clubhouse guy. But I never envisioned the kind of year he's had for the Dodgers, that he was capable of that. But good for him. I always liked him. I always liked Justin Turner.
In LA, Don Mattingly half of the fans want him fired, even though he's in first place. And last year, Terry Collins, with you guys, they wanted to fire him, and now he's manager of the year.
Yeah, Terry's not a great strategic manager. I don't think he manages. I think he's done a great job, and it's not just Terry. They've really done well with Harvey all year, managing those innings. But he's not the best strategist. He's not the best manager of the bullpen. But he's always gotten the best out of the team. I think what he's done this year, when you consider David Wright was gone most of the year,
right.
They were putting basically a AAA lineup out there for the first 3 months of the season. I mean, you had guys that shouldn't could barely crack a AAA roster hitting cleanup for this team.
Well,
all the adversity over the past few years. I mean, he's really. And then since the trading deadline, since they've actually got him players, the team's gone 39-19.
do all the Mets fans get to watch the Mets on TV in New York?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're so lucky. So, do you have a local broadcast over the airwaves where everyone can see the games?
I think it's once a week, maybe sometimes it's twice. They air on a local station here, Channel 11 in New York, which it broadcasts. It used to be more, but now they 11 carries both Mets and Yankees, and I think they'll play about 30 Met games a year, 30 Yankee games a year.
Well, Corey, we want to thank you for being on the show and giving us so much information about the current team.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you in the postseason.
See you in the postseason.